Imagine painting a masterpiece without ever lifting a brush. No stylus, no gestures, no physical tools whatsoever. You close your eyes, picture the color blue, and cobalt spreads across a screen in front of you. You imagine the feeling of flowing water, and the digital paint begins to dance in response. To understand how this works, look at this diagram. Electroencephalography, or EEG for short, uses sensors to detect the tiny electrical changes happening on your scalp. Millions of neurons fire in chaotic, coordinated patterns, creating raw data lines that feed directly into a machine learning algorithm. The system maps that raw electrical storm to artistic variables. Focus intently, and the geometry on screen thickens. Relax your mind, and the colors shift. But when you actually sit down and attempt to will a perfect circle into existence, the system stalls. You try to force a specific outcome, and then the screen violently glitches, spitting out erratic, jagged lines. The interface is flawlessly reading the electricity in your head. The glitch happens because it is rejecting your conscious intent. When you command your brain to do something, you quickly realize you aren't entirely in charge. We can see the problem in this waveform. The EEG captures everything your brain is doing, processing sensory input, running automatic emotional responses, and maintaining your biology. That tiny, singular line buried in the dense chaos, that is the sliver you experience as conscious thought. Watch what emerges as the background noise dims. This distinct, harmonious pulse is called the default mode network, or DMN. Neuroscientists link this specific architecture to daydreaming, flow states, and spontaneous creative generation. But the moment you actively concentrate or try to force a specific goal, competing neural systems activate. This sharp, jagged wave cuts right through the DMN, immediately suppressing your brain's natural creative engine. Artists who master this technology adopt a counterintuitive strategy. They set a broad, vague intention, like a mood or a color palette, and then they stop micromanaging. They mentally step aside. You get the best output when you stop directing traffic. Creating art this way requires the conscious ego to surrender its authority, sitting back as a passive partner, while a vastly larger, unconscious neural system takes the wheel. Now take that individual biological process and scale it up. We can wire multiple people into the same digital canvas, reading their brainwaves simultaneously to see what happens when separate minds paint together. Often, individual neural patterns compete for dominance. The resulting output is chaotic, hard-edged geometric shapes colliding and fracturing on screen as unsynchronized minds try to impose their own distinct wills. Yet, in rare moments of collective surrender, group brainwaves spontaneously align. The jagged collisions give way to smooth, unified fluid dynamics. Forms move in perfect synchronization, producing emergent artwork that no single person consciously planned. The canvas becomes a real-time mathematical map of human connection. The biological influence we constantly exert on one another, typically invisible in a room full of people, is drawn directly onto the screen. But there is a hard limit to what this shared canvas can actually share. Perfect alignment of brainwaves does not mean you are experiencing what the person next to you is experiencing. This illustrates a concept philosophers call qualia. Even if two people produce identical brainwave graphs, those signals remain tightly enclosed within their own separate boxes. Qualia is the deeply private, subjective feeling of being alive, the internal sensation of what it is actually like to have a thought. The technology perfectly broadcasts the biological data. We can map the rhythm, map the intensity, and the frequency of the storm, but the internal, felt experience of that storm stays completely locked inside your own head. Brain-computer interfaces expose a final, impenetrable boundary. We can align our mathematical outputs to flow in perfect harmony, yet we can never truly inhabit another person's inner world. Watching your unconscious biology generate art reveals something uncomfortable. The voice in your head, the narrator you consider your unified self, is largely just taking credit for decisions made by a vast hidden network of biological processes. The digital canvas operates as an unforgiving, real-time mirror. It reflects a decentralized cognitive architecture where control is distributed across systems you cannot see and cannot easily dictate. We spend our lives instinctively trying to micromanage our environments and force specific outcomes. This technology teaches the opposite approach. You define the environment, set the conditions, and then allow possibilities to emerge on their own. The most profound creations materialize only after the conscious mind stops issuing orders. You have to let go and finally let the complete nervous system speak.